Hi, this is Ellen from the Chili Dog, and everybody who knows me in real life knows that I take my knitting with me just about everywhere I go. And when I'm taking my knitting on the road, I have to carry a few notions, but I like to keep it to just the basics, and I carry stuff that's really not that expensive just in case it would happen to get lost along the way. So in my essential travel knitting kit, I have a few things. First are stitch markers. I have a set of Clover quick locking stitch markers. These are nice because you can slip them around a stitch. And I have them in 3 different sizes, the jumbo, the medium, and the small. The next kind of marker I have is just these basic little ring markers. And these are great to slip around your needle. Again, nothing too fancy here, just some plain ring markers. The next thing I always like to carry with me is a few pieces of waste yarn. These are great if I'm working on a pair of socks that might need an afterthought heel marked, or if I need to put in a lifeline. If I'm putting in a lifeline, of course I'll need a blunt tip needle. On the other side of my notions case, I like to carry a pair of cable needles. And usually I carry the thinnest pair that I have. That way it doesn't matter if I'm working on a heavy project or a light project, these needles will still work just fine. I also like to have just a plain plastic needle, just in case I really want to weave in some yarn tails at the end of a project. Another thing I really like is my Hiya Kitty Snips. These aren't necessarily the sharpest scissors that I have, and they're definitely not the biggest scissors that I have, but they work perfectly for snipping off little yarn tail ends if I need to. And another nice thing about them is whenever I have carried them with me when I'm traveling through an airport, I have never had any problems with security. And finally, of course, you need a row counter to keep track of things. Everything fits nicely in my little case. And the last thing I always carry with me is a tape measure, because you never know when you're going to need to measure gauge or measure to see how long something is. And I was lucky because my friend Barbara from All About the Buttons made this custom tape measure just for me with my Chili Dog logo on it. So the nice thing about keeping my notions to a minimum when I'm on the road is that I have more room to carry more projects. So I hope you enjoyed seeing what's in my travel knitting kit. Until next time, happy knitting!